In the heart of tradition, where flavors intertwine, nourishing, how it stands tall, a culinary shrine.
Hello, our beautiful friends. How are you? I hope you are doing fine. This is Nourishing House, and I'm Olive Ladus with
Anthony Bonovo.
And thank you so much, and welcome back. For today's videos, we want to talk on ourselves and how we can nourish ourselves. So this time around, we want to also, of course, talk to our psychologist to give us some tips and on how we can nourish ourselves and, of course, thrive and reach a balanced life. First, everything starts with our own self, and then we share what we have, of course. So this time we want to know something that is like, most of the time we hear everywhere saying true enemy is yourself. What is true enemy? So stay tuned. We are going to go deep into it.
Thank you guys once more. I hold this candle is a symbol of to know that your true enemy is yourself. If I have to put my hand on this and I say to myself that it's hot, then it's painful. Then if I say that I feel good because he nourished me to give me warmth, it becomes also a warmth for me. Meaning, from this, you can get the definition of identifying yourself or identifying a true enemy. These two battles occurs within you.
Okay. So, our professional expert in psychology, of course, started giving us some insight into it. But let's understand very well, if we say true enemy is yourself, what do we understand by that? How can we know? Because so many people say that, but we don't know deeply or realistic how we can understand and know through self, like us. We are our own enemy. How can we understand that? Okay,
thank you. First, I will start by defining self in psychology terms. A renowned psychologist known by name, Carl Jung, he said that self is a kind of individualization. It's a process in which you have undergone individualization. Like you have become fully you. You have reached that maturity stage.
Okay.
Meaning it's a process that has to do with your social, mental, and your physical well-being. So, if you are talking about true enemy is yourself, we have to also link it to what Abraham Maslow said in hierarchy of need. When a child's self-development begin with the physiological need, which is the basic need. So I have to link it because this self has to do with your nurturing.
Okay.
And what you are born with, personality. You see why it's confounding variables. Now, a child who is born is actually trying to achieve physiological need, which is the basic need, food, clothing, and shelter. And if I end up living in a good environment that is healthy, you see that my life or my perspective of life will be healthy, balanced lifestyle. Then someone who also live in an environment that is battling to achieve this basic need, automatically the person will be facing challenges of acquiring those stages. How can you tell someone who cannot even afford a cup of milk to eat a food? They say 3 square meal per day, and someone cannot even afford a square meal, and you are asking the person to be positive?
Yeah, it's challenging.
So the nurturing environment plays a vital role there now.
Okay.
Because that environment is also limiting is self-personality.
So depending on how you grow up, there are some things that you have experienced that will also influence you in what you are doing.
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
So your environment, that's why they call it conflict, because your environment and the nature and nurture controversy, that's what determines you.
Okay.
So now you are growing up as a child, and everything is well taken care of. You passed all those stages that you didn't face to survive, to achieve basic need. You find out the person who can actually provide who can earn money to provide his basic food, clothing, and shelter, will move to the next stage in that Maslow hierarchy of need, which is the security. When you start thinking, myself, I have to protect myself and my environment. That's self. That's why I say it's an individualization, reaching that maturity when you start viewing reality of life.
Yeah.
Now, when this person have acquired that, next thing, the self, that's why we're talking about true enemy here. But we are first of all have to differentiate before the true enemy comes in. It depends on your developmental growth.
Okay, that's where I say, like, come from you first. By yourself.
Yourself. Because they say that the moment you are born, to survive solely depends on you. A child is the first person that will draw the milk from the mother, despite the mother show the breast to the baby. So
the child is surviving.
If the child is surviving, so it has been you from day one, the moment you are born. Because they say the survival of the fittest.
So then this takes us to this question: how do we sabotage ourselves? How do we become our own enemy?
Yes. Now, when like I mentioned, the developmental stages now affect you in the reality when you have now reached a certain time of taking decisions. Now you see someone sabotaging in his own self by limiting his own belief, not even believing he's capable of doing things or achieving things in life. Therefore, shifting reliance, dependency on others. How can I do this? Seeking for always approval for people before moving forward.
So it means that these people have experienced maybe like low self-esteem, maybe depending on traumas and
of course, because their emotional trauma, what they passed through as their childhood experience when growing up, has a better role of playing when they are in the real life scenario. Their past experience is a factor. Their personal birth history is also a factor. So it goes far. Like I mentioned about the second stage, the love need. We didn't even forget that when you have achieved the security.
The security, yes.
When you move that one, when someone is secure environment, next thing you move is love need. Someone to love you and him to love someone also back, because he needs someone to communicate. That's why effective communication comes in too. A real someone who is not when you are your self-esteem is very high, because we have high esteem and low self-esteem. So if you have a high esteem, next thing you think in order to find a loved one, a partner to be with, so you communicate and move, people to interact with. That's love need.
Yes.
Then if your background or your past history, what you have been facing has been difficult, you have never even believed in yourself, having self-doubt, sabotaging your self-image that you cannot make this in life, automatically what will happen also in that your love need? You also rely on people. Instead of someone to love you back, you find you to love someone, you find someone to even love you because you didn't even love yourself.
Yes.
So it becomes an internal battle.
But you said something that is now like confusing me. You said like some people who are looking a confirmation from other people, maybe like they need to do this for you or do that, or maybe just to have a word on you. Is it not also into something that you may look into yourself, comparing yourself with others, and maybe now you will be having that high self-esteem then, because for example you can compare yourself with others and you see maybe they are not doing well, you are doing well, but even though before you had this low self-esteem. So this one I want to understand very well, like,
now let me help you with that.
yes.
If you rely on someone and I keep telling you, like it's like a child who they say, oh babe, you are too good, come on, you can walk, and the baby is, you see the baby improving well because of praise. It's a reward.
Yeah.
And reward is a term in psychology.
Yes.
So then you are rewarding the effort of the child, making effort to work, and the child keep to perform more. Then check a child who is developing and he get criticism from the parents. All your mates has been doing this, but you cannot do this.
That's where the comparison then comes. Okay.
I know your age at the age of 2 years who have worked, but my child has been 3 years, he cannot work. The child start developing that internal conflict, internalizing the belief they cannot do it. That's why I say that parents have to also, I advise some parents to also go and download some parental apps. What to talk or how to raise a child at home is very vital.
Yes.
So the way a child is being raised is very important. That's why I say that the nurture and nurture controversy. A child might be born with a good personality, but he was groomed or nurtured in an environment that will be projecting only negative thoughts, negative impairments, like you cannot do it, you are not successful, I know your mate. These are past experience we are talking about. These are the past history of developmental goals. Child is lacking.
Yes.
So he rely on people now. If he goes out there and people, he find a group of people who say we are good, you see the child having dependency on those people because they are giving him self-reward, self-encouragement that you are good. He attached there. So therefore, those people are the one making decision for the child, not him. So the true enemy is still inside.
Then how can we realize that we have that?
Thank you. That's why
most of people, we are just say, okay, we have first a very rough childhood experience, trauma, but we are here, we are maybe adults, we are working, we are okay, but we really never know. Sometimes we do some actions that always show that trauma that we had, but we don't know. We are just acting, thinking that it is normal. So how can we realize that?
Yeah, first to understand that is what I will go back to quote what Socrates normally say. He said that unexamined life is not worth living. So change begins the moment you start questioning yourself. What is it that I'm not doing good? And what is that is going wrong? So when you start asking or raising such question, that's the better time of inviting change to occur in your life. And then when you start asking that, then you meet a psychologist, a therapist. There is also a help expert. Like what we are doing, you're also helping the public. Listen, I might not own an office for you to meet me, but I might be your help expert.
Yes.
Or you meet a therapist who is trained in that field. They will guide you. There are a lot of psychological tools, such as CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. They are going to use in order to understand or identify those triggers, if you have it or not.
Yes.
Because sometimes you might not even have a problem, but you think you have it.
Yeah.
It's called internalized norm. You believe that you are the problem. So that's your true enemy also, by fighting within you. So you need someone who is trained in that field to actually test run. It's like when you are sick, if you go to hospital, they will run tests first to check if actually what you are reporting is there.
Yes.
They can't give you a drug without diagnosing you.
Yes.
So the same way, you can't say that you have psychological problem without being tested. That's why we have psychological tools there. So they should go and meet an expert who can actually run the test, psychological test, and identify. And then it's called talking cure. Therapy that will position you in a way for you to realize your true self and then project and move on and have a better lifestyle.
Yeah, because most of time I said this, that we might face some problems, and that is related, of course, to our true self, that we are our own enemy. But we tend to blame someone else. Yeah, it's because of this, it's because of that, that's why, it's because of, but it's just that we maybe don't want to look into ourselves where we have done something.
Yes, of course.
And we just blame others. So that's why I want to know, like, really, if there is this person who is out there and still maybe have this kind of blaming, we put blame to other people or any other situation that is happening, like how they can realize that actually I don't have to blame any other thing. I should first examine myself. So
yeah, let me help you on that. First of all,
yes,
like I mentioned before, there is what we call, and you and I and everyone out there are using it, defense mechanism. So human being is not a bad thing. It's a coping mechanism for you to survive. So some people, instead of to accept the fact that they made a mistake, they project it to people. We call projection. It's a defense mechanism. People project their things to others in order to feel that they are still better.
Yeah.
Because perfectionism is also a factor.
Yeah, sometimes you really want to make everything perfect. I want it to be like
that. Perfectionism is
that.
If we are also fighting to also be perfect in everything you do, it also has, if you deep down, if you are being diagnosed, if you are being tested, you will find that there is also a test of self-doubt. You have been sabotaging yourself because you want to prove to the people that who told you that you cannot do this. Therefore, you are performing well, trying to be at best of what you do in order to make people to know that you are now doing good.
Like showing it off, actually. You are not even doing it for yourself.
No, you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it to prove to people. So that's why I say it's projection. It's always a defense mechanism. It's a coping way of people to survive. So, but they are the ones that are positive and negative that you can use. You know that you are actually doing it well because you have self-actualization. So when your true self achieved the dream you wanted to achieve, that one is in line in a healthy way. So what if your self-actualization, because of internal norms you have through your childhood development, that you cannot be successful, therefore you wanted to become a rebel to the society, to make, because they pull you the energy down that you are not successful, therefore you become a rebel to the society, trying to kill people just because you want to survive. That self-actualization also is there, but in a negative form.
It's serious, huh?
Yeah, it's serious. So because it's a 5-stage that Abraham Maslow mentioned, and inside that first 5-stage, self-esteem is a need, esteem need, where people want to feel confidence to themselves. So whoever that have low self-confidence in themselves, you will see it manifesting in a different dimension. So, but when you have high confidence in you, you go out there and you speak to the people, speak to the public, go for your rights, achieve what you want. That's why I said also that it goes in a diverse home. It begins with parenting. The environment you are being nurtured plays a role here. What you are being born, what nature gives you, your personality, who you are, also will be conflicting also within you. But the true self-enemy is yourself, and you need to tell yourself. And how to do that, you have to start doing what we call mindful thoughts reading too. You can also overcome it through meditation. Like people who meditate, like take your time. You can also go into some people want to sleep, they might also use some good melody music, to have a good
Yes.
So you have to associate yourself with people who are very positive in life. Don't limit yourself. So to fight the true enemy, you have to be positive.
Because this one is associated with like these critics, not only criticism from other people, but also your own criticism. And sometimes we try to make it as if it's a positive, but we don't know how to differentiate the positive criticism that can make you achieve your goal and the criticism that will make you that will lead you to self-destruction. So I want us also to understand those criticism, if you have some examples on how we can differentiate the criticism that lead us to a good goal or achieving a goal, or criticism that lead us to self-destruction. So I want to differentiate that.
Yeah, the question you're asking me is also diverse, because also we are also on social media. There are things that you don't even start saying on social media because you don't know who also is listening. So that's why they said we will also prioritize what we call confidentiality.
Yes.
So that's why you need to, when you identify that you have a problem, you seek a therapy. You seek a therapist to actually tell you your problem. Because there are some words that I will start using, that these simple tips. It's out there. Someone who wants to know the words to use can also Google it and find it out. Because I keep saying that when you praise someone, the person tends to perform better. When you do not praise someone, you will see the person also feeling down that you cannot achieve. So this can actually make you to understand that there are some words you use on someone, it will motivate the person to go further. And there are some words you will also use on someone, it will make the person to go down low. Depression is always there.
Oh, okay.
So
actually we need to be mindful of what we are saying to other people.
Of course, yeah.
Because we don't know what they have passed through. Or maybe you are adding.
Yeah, we call it triggers. There are some triggers that you use. It reminds the person of his childhood memory. Even while the person is on the change growth, like he's about to change. Because I say that behavior learned can be unlearned. So that you learn this bad habit, you can also unlearn such bad habits. So when unlearning such bad habits, you need to be mindful of the environment you are in. That's why I said that you need to change your environment. If your environment is where that is very toxic for you, they keep making you saying things that is making you, wearing you down, change the environment.
Anyway, you are saying you are really going into a good position. Like last time in our podcast, we also talked about pressure, about social media. And then now on this talk, I want to talk about pressure, not just social media, but pressure also among your friends or among even like your community environment. How can pressure also influence you towards self-sabotage or low self-esteem? So that each person will know this, at least we have to avoid or the way to reverse it and become a very good person with the high esteem.
I will use a practical example to explain this. When you are a child and you went to university, what is your dream goal? To graduate and then get a job?
Yeah.
And then start a life. Is it whoever that graduates gets a job?
Not really, depending on where you are. And
so the societal pressure there is a pressure there already in the society that if you graduate from university, you should land a good job.
Yeah.
But is it practical when you get to the real life?
Not really.
Sometimes you might graduate, but you might not have the experience to land your dream job.
Yes.
And what was the society start saying? He's a graduate, but see what he's doing. Even criticizing the job we are doing to the side also they are doing to survive.
Yes.
It's a pressure. Even your parents will tell you that I know how much we spend to train you in university. And this is all you can do, to sit at home pressing phone. Maybe you are on your phone even searching for a job. They feel that you are not busy. So it's also pressure from home.
Yes, because there are some like youngster, I may even call like teenager finishing high school, comparing you with others. Maybe they went in a good university and maybe you didn't have damn marks to go into a good university, or maybe you are not even that rich to pay for the university, and then they are comparing you. Look at this one, they already studying this, they maybe did a PhD, they did this, they did that, and you are just here maybe pressing your phone. You are useless. And you see, even if they have already like a kind of judging themselves, like, oh my God, what am I going to do with my life? I don't have this and that. And then the pressure from other people also come into it, and you find themselves going into alcohol, drinking, drugs, and other things, just because those words, and they are still coming inside.
Now let me help you. You don't need to, because people are, that's why, if actually, that's why I said that the environment you grew up matters. Your parents are giving you the ideal life setting. You have attended university. Now the pressure has started coming because now you are facing the real life scenario when you have not gotten a job, or things are not working the way you expected. People are now advising you from books and corners. That's why I say the true self comes in. Someone who has high self-esteem put boundaries immediately. You keep explaining to people.
Yes.
Please, easy, my time will come. Positive energy. You have to build your source of your energy. You have to tap into the power of self-power.
Noted, for sure, yes.
Doesn't you mean that you are not my God, I will still attend to this. It might be delayed, but it might, destiny might be delayed, but it cannot be denied. That I'm working on this. And please stop telling me those words. You need to let people know that the energy they are using on you is a negative energy, and you as an individual does not, I repeat, you as an individual does not entertain negative energy. The moment you say it to people, they will understand that you are setting a healthy balance.
Yes.
Boundaries. When you set that healthy boundaries, they will stop using such words for you. But the moment they say that to you and you refuse to, someone with low self-esteem will withdraw back and go back to find comfort with alcohol, with going to have depression, believing that life of hopelessness, that I cannot make it in life.
Or even going into the bad working stuff to generate that money faster.
So that's why you see the illegal way of making money comes into play. People do all things just to also to prove to the parents, to prove to their friends, to prove to their loved ones that I later become successful.
Yes.
So that's why I say that your self-esteem is very important, and you have to guide it with everything you have, because that's your key energy to survive.
Okay, so this make me to land here then. We have experienced trauma, bad experience. We have low self-esteem. How can we bring back a high self-esteem, high confidence? How can we build ourselves? Because now we have seen that we are down. We can't do anything without comparing ourselves. We are just somewhere bad. How can we rebuild ourselves to become someone greater?
Yeah, I said it before. In Latin, they say, Nemo dat queen non habet.
Repeat that one.
You cannot give what you don't have.
Oh, okay.
So, and again, if they say, if wishes were horses.
If wishes.
Wishes, your wishes were horses. Beggars will ride.
Oh my God.
Meaning, if things are well, everybody will become perfectly good. To resolve such confining variables, because we call it, because it's unwanted things that you never expected to come into your life, and people are bringing it, and you want to rebuild and change your life to become who you are. There is a technique that we always say people to actually approach. We call it approach, avoidance, and avoidance approach. Meaning, if someone is challenging you, challenge the person back. That's why equal forces. Then If someone is also approaching you, you also do avoidance. Avoid the person totally. The attack is coming. They tell you that if you go here, they will keep criticizing. If you go to this your family, they will keep reminding you that your time of getting married has come. What is happening? Avoid going to that environment that will be reminding you that your mates are getting married. Since you cannot approach them, you cannot attack them, you cannot defend yourself or make them see reason why your time has not yet come, or I want to become single for life.
Oh.
Then if that method cannot work, if your family is also avoiding you not to talk to you about you not getting married, you too, you also avoid them not to go close to them or bring it up, so they will not remind you that it's your time to get married. So don't go and look for trouble. So if they are avoiding you, avoid them. If the society is expecting you to become a graduate and you have not gotten a job, don't go and fight government, give me a job. Because government will remind you that don't think of what government will do for you, but what you will do for your country.
Yes.
So then you start feeling bad. So you are the one who look for the trouble. So if your government or the country is avoiding you not to remind you that you need to be useful, then avoid not to remind them that they will tell you the worst for you to be useful. So it's a techniques. We mentioned about CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. I'm not in a position here to run the psychological tests. There are a lot of tests out there that will help you to engage you to become better in life. That's why I advise that the person who really have identified that he has this low self-esteem and wants to recognize himself to become the true self, to fight off that true enemy about himself, has to meet a therapist, psychologist, or help expert who can guide him to move on with life. When you can also achieve that and you believe in within your power, they say because it's also a power within you. Everybody is born with that self-esteem, the ego, to project and move on with life. So if you have it, you also need to start doing mindful thought techniques.
Okay.
Start changing what you are using. If you have been someone who internalize yourself, I cannot do this, they told me in the past that I'm not capable of doing this, change it to also start saying that I know that I was told that I was better or more than this, and I can do it, and I can do it better.
Then saying positive words to yourself.
Positive words to yourself. Because you don't need someone to keep, you don't rely on people to tell you that. You don't need to meet a psychologist, and psychologist will not even tell you all the time that you can do it.
You need to tell yourself.
Because there is also a method, a control method we use, where we allow you as the client to be the one to come up with a solution. We call it client therapist technique.
Because sometimes I have seen like where they do the therapy, you just talk, the therapist is just hearing, listening to you, what you are doing, and then say, okay, later, and what are you going to do? It's of like course. You are talking and also replying to yourself. And
that is also good. Sometimes it's good to, that's why they say meditation. Find a quiet moment, start even shouting out loud. Say everything that comes into your mind. At the end of it, you might start understanding yourself. At the end of these words, maybe if a psychologist is there, you might note down the important words you have said. But if nobody is there, you can also do that on your own self by just now vet out those internal conflicts, maybe things that are bothering you. You start getting healing.
Okay.
Because you need to express yourself. That's why they say that Socrates said, unexamined life is not worth living. Anyway,
I've heard also that there are some people, to examine themselves, they write down all their lifestyle and everything, and then later they go back to read.
It's
and
a reflection.
Like, oh
the word is reflection.
Yes.
You need to always go back and reflect on the things you have listed that you want to do in life. Yeah, it's very good. Like your goal.
Yes, you go and then not even just goals, like because some people write goals and then they even forget. Just writing what you are passing through and everything, and then later if you go to read and say, oh my God, what happened? How was the situation that time? You start thinking like maybe it affected me now. That's why I'm like this. So it's like really a mirror.
Yeah, of course, it's a mirror. It's an imaging, because there's also a term called imaging, but I'm not going to go into it. And I did like identifying who you are actually. But there are so many methods, but we are not yet to explain what is psychology. We are here trying to revive you who has undergone through this process to get more better. In order to achieve this, there are so many methods to cope up and build your self-esteem and project and then find yourself in that society and become useful.
Yeah.
You need supporting aid. You can't do it alone, and if you want to do it alone, you need to keep reflecting on yourself. It's there. Mindful thoughts, positivity, always. Self-confidence has to be very high.
Yes.
Then don't battle yourself when you can't do things better. Making mistake is also part of your life.
And that's why we do like some mistakes, of course. That whenever we do a mistake, we always blame ourselves. And whenever you remember it, you become furious. But even if we are becoming furious, we are not learning from it. It's just like a kind of a wound, a mark.
That's
like,
the fear.
Yes. And then you really fear that next time you are going to fail. And it's better that you are not going to do it at all. You see, even trying, you are no longer trying at all because you are afraid to fail again. Yes.
That's why they say that fear is the pragmaty of humanity. What you fear comes to you. The energy you give out is energy
you
that
attract it. Oh, God.
So people should be careful what they say through their mind, what they think through their mental process, and what they face in their society.
Because most of the time we're saying like, if you are saying it out loud, you will not do, I will never do that. Sometimes you face yourself that you are doing it, but also our thoughts.
Now let me help you. There is the difference between we and I. There is a power of me and I.
Oh, what's the difference?
It's better to use, now we are talking about coping and surviving. Me doing this is different that I will do this.
Okay.
So people should be constructive, like we start restructuring the words they use to attract positive energy to their life, positive feedback, positive like achievement. What I say, it will come to pass. You need to learn how to use also the word of positivity.
Okay.
You don't say, I would prefer to eat beans.
That's like a wish.
Yeah. And they said sometimes the wishes are for the angels, for people who believe in the biblical form. Yeah.
Okay.
We are given we are meant to believe that we are given the power of will, the will power. So if someone dive into their will power, he will understand that it's more of I will do this. If they ask you do this work, okay, I will do it. The moment you say I will do it, it's conflicting.
It's like you can continue making.
Of course, and you keep procrastinating, and procrastination is not good.
Oh.
So if you know that you cannot do it, I will not do it. The power of yes and no is very important.
We need to learn how to say yes and no.
So yeah, when you need to learn how to say yes and no, not maybe. You are just there. So because someone who is walking up to you want to know if this task I'm giving to you or this task I want to assign to you will be accomplished. So check within your time frame. If you know that you cannot give a positive answer of yes or no, say, can I give back to you?
Yes.
So these are ways of construction that you need to learn. There's also a popular book that says how to speak in public. So you need to learn how you talk to people to attract the good energy. Doesn't you know that they ask you, can you do this? Yes. Then the moment you are out from there, say, why did I accept to do this? You start blaming yourself, start fighting internally within yourself. But
Yes.
who asked you
Because
to
you
accept
cannot
it?
say
You
no.
cannot say no.
Sometimes yes. Okay.
So you need to know what you are capable of doing. And if you accept to do something, do it. Even if you felt that it's a challenge, challenge is also a motivation. Take up the task and say, yes, I can do it. And I will do it. And you keep doing it. And at the end of it, it will produce you a positive result.
Yeah.
No matter how you fail. It's not the failure that matters, it's the consistency that will make you to get the result at the end of it that what counts. That's why the true enemy is yourself. And I advise you to reflect on yourself, examine your life, have a mindful thought, build in positivity. That's a better way of projecting and moving on in life if you want to cope in this our environment that we are living with each other. Thank you.
Yes, my dear friends, I hope you really learned. Even me, I also learned a lot, that we have to, even if you had the trauma or bad experience, of course, in order to thrive and rebuild yourself, you need to examine yourself. So please, you can use the comment section and tell us, like, okay, if you even if you have experienced this, how do you rebuild yourself? How do you motivate yourself again to thrive and reach your goals? What do you think? And also, like, how do you think that people with the low self-esteem, they can rebuild themselves? Because nowadays, the country or even all over the world, your family needs you to be a powerful person, and everywhere we always see quotes, but sometimes we don't really even think about it. We just on the surface, we don't examine ourselves. So what do you think? You can use the comment section below, of course, to tell us your ideas. And if it is your first time on this channel, it is Nourishing House. And if you have been watching without subscribing, you can hit that subscribing button and be among our community. And of course, hit the bell, notification bell, to know and or also get the notification of our next content.
And if you like the content, you can also feel free to share and recommend people.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to share this knowledge, because most of the time we don't really look into ourselves, and we all the time say meditate, meditate. We are really good at telling other people what to do, but we have never looked into our own lives. So thank you so much, and I think that's enough for today. And
thank you.
See you next time.